Hi and welcome to Outwell and to our Tomcat LP from our Smart Air collection. This is a large tunnel design tent which has 3 rooms, 2 of which are bedrooms, and it can sleep up to 6 people. For me, the standout feature on this tent is our frame. This is our Smart Air frame, so what you will find is that in place of the traditional sort of steel or fiberglass poles, we have each tube filled with air. We actually use our One-Go Inflation Technology on this tent, so that is where we have one valve to be able to plug in the pump to pump the whole thing up in one go. We'll just show you those in detail now. So, as I mentioned, we have one single valve here to inflate the entire tent. It's quite clearly marked, it says air in, so we'll just lift that back here. That is where you'll find the valve to attach the pump to inflate the whole tent. Then each individual tube has its own deflation outlet here, so if I just peel this back here, you see this is where we have the valve, so all we need to do is just open that up and you'll then hear a lot of air will come out, and then that's how we close it off. So that's going to ensure that the tent is going to deflate really nice and quickly. The pump is supplied with the tent, and it's a double action sort of 2-way hand pump here, obviously with the fittings at the end which will attach onto the tent. Now it also has a manometer on the top here, and that will indicate the pressure that you're inflating the tent to. And it's recommended that this is inflated to between 0.6 and 0.8 bar, which represents 8.7 to 11.6 psi, and you'll clearly see that on this manometer here. Also, it's just important that the pump actually does have an inflate and deflate function, so obviously you want the hose on the side that says inflate on there. So just before we go inside and show you all the features, I just want to highlight another advantage of the One-Go Inflation technology that we use. So inside here, once we go in, you'll see that each tube is actually interconnected all the way throughout there to allow it to all be inflated in one. But what that also does is it creates a really sturdy and stable structure. If I just show you on here, I can put quite a lot of weight on that and it's not going anywhere, so really sturdy tent. Inside, if we just highlight at the top here, as I say, you have the individual tubes all the way throughout the tent, and what we can do is just shut these off using the valves which are here. So once the tent has been inflated, we just come inside and we just close these off like this. Once these are in this position, what that then does is it completely separates each individual tube. So what that means is, in the unlikely event that something goes wrong, the whole tent's not going to come down in one, it would just be the one individual tube. Lots of other features to talk you through, so let's start at the top here with our lantern hanging point, just in a good central location. And then what you'll find is that if you come away from that, all the way down here, we have these cable tidies which run all the way down to a cable entry point just here. So you can just see that this zips open and closed, so we can actually bring our cables and electrics into the tent without having to have any of the mesh doors open. Just while I'm here, I will point out the mesh doors, as I just mentioned there. So there's actually 2 entrances on the tent, one on either side here, obviously, as well as the front. And each door has its own full mesh door, so you can zip them closed, allowing really good ventilation in the tent, but hopefully keeping out those unwanted creepy crawlies too. At the back of the tent is where you will find the bedrooms. As I mentioned earlier on, there's 2 here, and these can sleep up to 6 people. You'll see that they are in place using our wave-shaped hanging point system, so that just takes off any stress points of the seam at the top here, and it also gives it a nice detailed finish to the bedrooms too. A good point to make here is that the bedrooms actually come pre-attached, so when it comes to you pitching the tent, that's a job you don't need to worry about because these are already in place for you. Some other features to highlight on the bedrooms then, we have plenty of handy-sized storage pockets on the outside of the bedrooms. But inside, you'll find that we have low-light windows, so you can actually have a look outside without having to leave the bedroom. You can just zip that open or closed. At the back, we have a mesh panel which corresponds to outside ventilation on the tent. And you'll see also that the roof or the ceiling of the bedrooms is also of a much darker material, just to allow you to have a little bit of a longer lie. In here you can also then see that we have a full zipped sheet all the way around here, so that separates the 2 bedrooms, allowing you, obviously, as I say, 2 3-person rooms, or we can zip that completely open, creating one large bedroom on the inside. Another nice feature here is that we use our universal bedroom, so that is where we have this zip in the middle here to actually completely drop one bedroom, and we'll just show you now how that works. So, moving on from there, still lots more features to talk you through. Just want to highlight the ground sheet that we use in here. This is an Oxford polyester material, so it's really tough and durable, but actually still quite lightweight, so the whole tent can be packed down in one. It is bathtub in style, so it comes up at the edges, so you're not going to have any drafts, you're not going to have dirt and dust and things like that blown into your tent. And again, importantly, hopefully it will keep out those creepy crawlies too. Another great feature on the ground sheet here is the fact that right across the front we have this zip. So what that allows you to do is just pull this up like this, and you would then find that the front door of the tent will zip completely all the way along there, creating a fully sealed entrance. So again, not allowing any water in through that part. Certainly space-wise, there's lots and lots of space in the tent, as you've probably already seen. We have furniture and storage and things like that in here. Plenty of headroom as well. I'm about 1.95 meters tall. You can see I can stand up in here, no problem at all. I think that's really accentuated as well thanks to all these large windows all the way around here. So we do have a panoramic front on here, which is where we have a window on every single panel all the way around the tent. If you do want a little bit more privacy from the inside, that's not an issue because each window has its own individual curtain. We just have this rolled away at the moment, but you will find that this actually zips up and down, so you can choose exactly how much light is coming into the tent or how much privacy you're getting. Across the tops of the windows, you'll also find that we have some mesh ventilation panels here, again, which correspond to outside ventilation, which we'll point out when we're there. What I'll do now is just talk you through some of the features on the outside of the tent. And I'd like to start off with our fly sheet that we use on here. So this is our Outex 6000 material. This is actually a 150 denier taffeta polyester. So really, really heavy duty material. It's going to last a good long time. It has fully taped seams throughout. It also has been PU coated on the inside to make it completely waterproof, and it has a hydrostatic head of 6,000 millimeters. And also, you should just notice on here, we do have the logo embossed on there as well, just for an extra little bit of detail on the tent. You can see, if you just have a look down the side of the tent here, we are using our classic luminous guy lines all the way along here. So hopefully, you're not going to trip up over these quite as easily when it gets dark. Each guy line has its own retainer, so when it comes to packing the tent away, you can simply just roll these guy lines up in your hand and pop them in here so that the next time you come to use the tent, you're not going to have a big tangled bird's nest of guy lines to try and undo. Another really nice feature on this tent is that we're using our easy pegging system. So this is where we supply you with 3 different pegs for the tent. We have the solid steel anchor pegs, and these go in the 4 corners of the tent, making sure that you've got a really good solid fastening to the ground. We then also have our black plastic pegs for all of the black pegging points around the side of the tent, and we have the luminous peg, funnily enough, for the luminous guy lines as well. So easy pegging system, just making sure that you get the right peg in the right place. Some other features then, just to highlight, I did point out earlier on that we have some external ventilation panels, and that just corresponds to that mesh panel that we showed you inside. We can easily take this away if I just take these Velcro tabs here and fold them away, just like so. Another nice feature, we have a rain-safe entrance on the side of the tent here. So ideal to use if it's a little bit drizzly or a little bit wet. You can use this entrance here, and you can see that's going to shelter that door from any rain water falling. So here you can see that we're also using our tinted windows on the tent all the way around. Every single one is just like this here. So that serves 2 key functions. One, to reflect the sun away from the inside, keeping you a wee bit more comfortable. And also, obviously, it's going to give you much more privacy inside the tent too. So there are a few optional extras available for the tent that would include a carpet for the living area, just for a little bit more comfort. There's also a footprint available to go under the ground sheet here to keep it clean and dry when you're packing it away. And there's also a front extension available for it too. So that's all of the features of our Tomcat LP. Thanks very much for watching.